Hi folks, welcome back to the Addicted Bookworm. I am I'm literally amazed about the fact is that we're hitting Thursday, tomorrow's Thursday. Um and we have essentially about, not counting tomorrow, about 4 more days of this month, and then the September will come along, and it's supposed to be the dog days of summer and all that, which I don't really understand how that's the dog days of summer. I don't understand. I know someone said it's because it is the hottest that it's going to get, and then after that it'll kind of start getting cooler and stuff. I'm not really looking forward to all that heat, but you know, it is what it is and everything. So, I am reading on my Kobo, and I'm reading Chemical Vampire and Other Stories, and this is part of Amazing. I think it's called Amazing Adventures. It's a pulp science fiction book, and I'm really enjoying it. I just finished The Children of Ra, which is or the Children of Radium. So like in the periodic table, Ra is the word for radium. So this is the Children of Radium, and it's interesting about this is my the Children of Ra happens to be my favorite so far of all of them, and just the fact is that it was published during a time when everybody was touting how great radium actually was compared to what we now know. So some really good stories in this one, and I'm off tomorrow, so I'm going to read 4 of these in this book, and then I'll have like one more left, and yeah. So I may just end up finishing this book tomorrow, just so that I'm like, yeah. Um, so another thing, also, I really am enjoying the Storygraph integration. I really am. According to Storygraph, I have read 51 books this year, although I have read a lot more on my Goodreads, which is like a lot. Not like 400 or 500. That is absolute insanity. I don't really think even your most vivacious reader could actually read like that many books. But hey, if you can, then I'm amazed. So, anyways, so I'm using it as a segue to talk about today's topic or tonight's topic, and that is what I'm not doing in 2027. So we're getting close to September, so I thought this would be the perfect time to do this kind of video. What I'm not doing in 2027. Well, there's actually 2 things I'm not going to do in 2027. Um, First and foremost, no more Amazon books. I have not purchased Amazon books since I found out about them feeding physical books into their AI, and also the price hike of Amazon Kindles. That has turned me so against Kindles and Amazon in general, that the only reason I'm even continuing to associate with them is because I write books. That's the only reason. I am going to try to see if I can get any future books put on Kobo. So, because people are going to Kobo. We'll see what happens. Anyways, so that's my big thing in 2027 is not purchasing any more Amazon books. It doesn't matter if it's Kindle Limited or it's a free book or whatever. I'm not doing it. I just have to stand up for my priorities and what I believe in as a human being and everything. So I am reading through the books I already have, and then that's it. I'll be factory resetting all of my Kindles, every one of them, including my 11th gen Kindle as well. So I will be doing that. So I'm going to be very happy to finish the last book and all that. Another thing that I am not going to be doing in 2027 is talking about how many books I've read. And this is, now, sorry. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to do book review videos because that is what I like to do. I like people to know how much I've really enjoyed this book. But in 2027, because I'm mainly going to be using my Kobo to read my books, I will be setting a number of books that I want to read in 2027, which will probably be very low. I'm going to try to go back to trying to read only 12 books, or maybe 24 books or something. I'm going to be reading them all on my Kobo, and also on my Nook as well, because I still have plenty of books on there as well. But I just feel like that there's way too much competition, way too much, how should I say it, policing. I can't stand policing. I cannot stand people policing what other people are reading. And I just feel like that when we're judging people by what they read, that it causes way too many problems. It just means that you're invested way too much into someone's life that you don't even know who they are. I mean, I don't even know who half the people on YouTube are. That's why if they're reading something that I personally would never read, I just watch the review and just give them a thumbs up and just move on. I don't monitor, I don't judge, I don't go, oh, that's immoral, or that's demonic, or that's whatever. I don't do that. That is not my place. People should be able to read whatever they want to read. They shouldn't have to worry about people judging them. I remember when I did a review of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, somebody gave me a thumbs down. I'm like, okay, I mean, it's your right to thumbs it down if you want to, but it didn't erase the fact is I read the book, and it didn't erase the fact is that I enjoyed it still. These science fiction stories, they do have a lot of stereotypes that a lot of people would not like. However, the fact that these are very well edited and very well written stories is why I read them and why I enjoy reading them. I just want something that's well edited and well read, and not well read, but well edited, well crafted, just people knew what they were doing when they wrote these stories all those decades ago, and that's the big draw to it. But going back to it, I don't think we should be having any kind of conversation about what people are reading, if they're actually reading these books, because really, I think that we as society were wading too much into people's business. It's like that, with me, people are way too much into what I'm talking about. If I'm having a conversation with someone, they have to always have some kind of comment or make some kind of noise, which agitates me. And it's stupid. It's okay, let me have my conversation. Please do not include yourself. The world does not revolve around you. You're not the most important person in the universe. Let me just have my conversation and just leave me alone. I've had that happen way too much time, and it's annoying. It's when I say something to myself because I'm trying to remember something, somebody will have some kind of comment, and I was like, no, I'm not directing the conversation to you. It's more for my brain, because I have a gap between one side of my brain to the other, and what I do is I like to say little things to kind of remind myself of what I'm supposed to be doing, and that's just something that I do. It's not something I like doing, but something I have to do. So that is something that people really need to understand, that not all conversations are for you to listen to, and not all conversations are for you to have an opinion about. I am guilty of that from time to time, but for the most part, just I just I just want to do what I do and move on. Um, but yeah, so when you go and you have to make that as a point, like, okay, this is what I'm not going to do in 2027. There's going to be thousands upon thousands of people that are going to be like, oh, but I want everyone to know how much books I've read. Trust me, trust me, you don't want to tell them how many books you've read, because they're really going to come off from their high mountain perch and say, no, you did not read that many books. There's no way you read that many books. For me, I have no trouble reading as many books as I do, mainly because I'm not connected to this on my hip. Um, Actually, on my day off, I shut it down. I don't, I don't, I'm not on it. None of that type of stuff. I prefer to be left alone, to sit down and read my books, relax, and all that type of stuff. So that's what I do. And I just like, I just, you know. But I have not read these two books in a couple, like The Wolf King. I'm definitely going to work on finishing that book tomorrow, so I can move on to The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I have never read that book, and I'm looking forward to it. And then, of course, I'm going to start reading um, this book, which is, for people that don't know, this is actually the last book in my pile of 4 books that I got from, 3 of them I got from Barnes & Noble, and this one I got from Amazon. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to go in the living room with my chair and my light, and I'm going to read. So as I said, next year I'm going to keep how many books I've read, like the number to myself. Now, if you guys like go, okay, let's just see, let's just like, how many times she does a book review, definitely, you'll pretty much figure out how many books I've read. Another thing I want to not do, in 2027 is spend a huge amount of money on books. So, like, this week I'm not going to be able to go to Half Price Books, but I'm hoping to go next week. I just got to see what day I'm, like, my work and all that. And I am going to pick up, like, a large stack of books. However, I will not be going back there until I have those books read. So in 2027, I will probably limit, if I go to Half Price Books, I will probably limit it to probably about 6 books per trip. And then once I'm done with those 6 books, then I will go back there and get 6 more. So that's what I'm going to do. That's just something that I want to do. So I'm not doing like massive book hauls. I'm not doing, unhaul videos. I never do unhaul videos anyways. So yeah, that's another thing that I'm not going to do in 2027 is get large amounts of books. If I do get any kind of amount of books, they're generally going to be books I've already read. And everything. I really want to get Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill was twisted to like twisted. The idea that it's like 2 people, killing people of power is insanity. The Armchair Detectives, I will once again reiterate, I really was not a super fan of that book because of the repetition and on all that type of stuff. But yeah. So, as I said, I definitely, I'm I'm not going to be doing several things. Another thing that I'm going to one thing I'm going to be doing in 2027 is really heavy on the borrowing from the public library. So like for people that don't know, you can borrow books from the library and have it put on your Kobo. And I am going to be heavily borrowing from the library. So like I'm reading one library book right now. It's book number 3. I have the first 4 up there. What I'm going to do is once I'm done with the book and it gives me the option of purchasing it, I'm going to go ahead and purchase it, and then I'm going to go back into my Kobo and find book number 4, and I'll just, like, if I can borrow it, I'll just borrow it, and then I'll read it, and then I will purchase it and all that type of stuff. So anyways, there are a lot of things that I am not doing in 2027, and they're all book related. But yeah, oh my Lord, I shake my head. I just really do shake my head at people. I don't ever judge people on how many books they read or how many books they don't read. Like if you read like 1 book, you're a reader. If you read 3 books, you're a reader. But as I said, I probably will read a lot more than 12 because I do want to get through my TBR. Like I'm hoping I can get through my TBR I have on that floor, and if I can get done with it by New Year's Eve, that will be really great. And then I can just like kind of like pull out a single book and go, okay, now that I've succeeded in getting those books read, I'm just going to pull a single book out. Just go to my shelves and just pull a single book out and just read that book and everything. So that's that's another goal I'm going to have in 2027. Besides like doing the borrowing from the library and stuff, and also reading mainly on my Kobo and my Nook, is I'm just going to pull one single book out, one book, and I am going to sit there and I'm going to read the book, and I'll do a video saying, hey, this is the book that I pulled out for this month, and I'm going to read it, and then at the end of it I will do a review of that book. So anyways, I am hoping to have most of my TBR, all my TBR read by the end of next year. That will be really great. And then we enter the chaos of 2028 and all that type of stuff. So 2027 hopefully will be a productive year. I will get more books read and everything. Anyways, that's my video. And I am going to end it here by saying this. Do not let haters keep you from enjoying your hobby. Just sit there and enjoy reading your books. So I'll see you guys next time.